Mr. Mayor and members of the council, what I'd like to do is just give you a brief executive summary of our training and preparations in building on our partnership. Probably the biggest partnership here in the town of Ashland has been Chief Goodman's leadership and ability to open doors and network and partner as a public safety entity to perform prior to the incidents, but when the incidents do occur. The PowerPoint that I have for you is just, again, an executive summary, kind of a brief overview, and we'll go through that. If you look at the first page that you have here, CSX in general considers this area as a part of the Baltimore division. The line runs north and south as a rail transportation corridor. In our minds, when we're preparing for rail incidents, not only does CSX come into play, but Amtrak as well from a passenger life safety standpoint. If you notice on the diagram of Baltimore being in the middle, there are two bookends, Philadelphia to the north, and then Richmond, where we are, to the south. And then that switches over to the Florence division, which is a total different division. But we're considered to be a part of that, to be the RF&P, which stands for the Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac subdivision of Baltimore. On average, our partners at CSX base 40 trains per day on average of about 30,000 freight and carloads daily coming through the town of Ashland. And our Amtrak partners estimate basically 22 trains per day on average, which yields about 6,000 passengers daily coming through Hanover County through the town of Ashland. What you see before you is, again, technical expertise from CSX as we're planning for the commodities rail incident, the Bakken crude oil that was highly publicized several months ago when that issue occurred in Lynchburg. CSX looked at an assessment tool for Hanover County in reference to commodities, and I know on the screen it's very difficult, but I just want to highlight two things for you. They basically did an analysis of all the hazardous materials coming through by rail through Hanover, and we pulled the information out. 50% were in two basic categories, molten sulfur and petroleum crude oil. Within that, we also identified that ethanol carloads are increasing on the rise as well. About 210,000 gallons are going through to Stafford County daily. In the region, we've increased as a regional partnership through the Richmond Metro Fire and EMS chiefs, Richmond, Henrico, Hanover, Chesterfield. We've worked on a regional initiative as well to increase foam production for suppression in the event that we do have a catastrophic event involving fire. And last, you'll see regional response teams have participated in multiple railroad hazardous emergency exercises. As Mr. Rohde said, members of Hanover Fire and EMS, which are members of the Central Virginia All Hazards Incident Management Team, just recently conducted a quarterly drill in Goochland to reproduce a Lynchburg scenario involving Bakken crude and how would we manage that incident from a regional cooperation standpoint. The next thing that we're very proud of, in 2009, the picture that you see, 2009, we hosted throughout the Commonwealth of Virginia a regional cooperative partnership and training deal with not only CSX commodity, but Amtrak passenger rail. And within that, over 475 public safety personnel from all walks of life, whether it's fire and EMS, federal marshals, law enforcement, 911 communication officers, had the opportunity to come in for this hands-on training hosted just north of here in Dowsville. We've also held additional training. As Mr. Rohde said, they do provide a block of mandated training for first responders that we've done. That's also been offered through Amtrak, dealing with passenger rail, as well as other public safety departments. We've also, in our communications center, in CAD, when you dial 911, we've partnered with CSX in common terminology. And we also have it laid into CAD under the GIS system for mapping that we can identify all bridges, roadways, and common terminology should we have an event. The last thing as we lead into this is our strategic development and planning. Where do we go from here from a strategic level? And again, it comes to leadership. Chief Pollen and Chief Goodman had the opportunity to go to Lynchburg to meet with the gentleman that you see on the left, the on-duty battalion chief that day that was in charge of that incident itself. And we were able to glean lessons learned from the Lynchburg incident to bring home to build into our response plan. We have a policy that's also in place to the left that you see in how we handle emergency events dealing with railroad events. We've also created tools for our first responders and basically checklists that are created for joint public safety entities to work together during these events. The last thing, again, is we've identified is the quarterly drill we just recently conducted from a regional cooperative standpoint. Currently, we're in the final stages. Strategically, as Mr. Rohde said, we'll be working with Chief Goodman and his staff, members from Randolph-Macon, and staff from there to assess and establish a tabletop exercise. This exercise will not only look at CSX, but it'll also deal with Amtrak from a life safety standpoint. Our focus still maintains life safety not only to the passengers on the rail, but our citizens that we're concerned with should an event occur. And as I wrap this up, this is just a basic overview from air response capabilities. Again, should we have a major event like this, we feel very comfortable through the relationships that we've established regionally and our private partnerships. But this is a basic response should something occur within Hanover County. We have what you see, TRT, our technical rescue teams. These are specialized personnel that are trained in heavy extrication, trained in mass evacuations. But you can see the complement of the first arriving resources that would respond before we would go to the next level as far as regional partnerships, bringing resources in from the outside. And based on that, that's an executive summary and overview. I'll entertain any questions, but I sincerely appreciate the opportunity to come and address you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, comments?
Well done.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.